There are growing calls to strip Harry and Meghan of their royal titles. The New York Post is reporting that locals in the UK say enough is enough, especially after Prince Harry's disastrous BBC interview, which aired hours after he lost his appeal for taxpayer-funded UK.
The royal storm has turned into a full-blown political hurricane. Prince Harry, once hailed as the beloved people's prince, now finds himself teetering on the edge of royal erasure. What started as whispers in Parliament and cautious murmurs among royal courtiers has now exploded into a formal, full-scale movement to strip him of his Duke of Sussex title. And this time, it's not just tabloids speculating. It's Parliament acting. The fuse is lit, and the fallout could redefine royal history. At the heart of this unprecedented campaign is the House of Lords, Britain's most powerful legislative chamber. A coalition of senior Conservative peers and crossbench members has introduced a formal petition to invoke the Titles Deprivation Act of 1917, originally used to remove titles from royals who supported enemy nations during World War I. This historic legislation is being revived with Harry in its crosshairs. While Harry hasn't committed military treason, many argue that his behavior constitutes a moral betrayal of the Crown's values. From his departure from royal duties in 2020 to his explosive interviews, documentaries, and tell-all memoir, Harry has transformed from royal icon to Hollywood commentator. His controversial statements, such as describing America's First Amendment as bonkers, and his alignment with political groups in California, have sparked outrage in the UK. Critics argue that his actions are incompatible with the political neutrality expected of anyone bearing a royal title. But it isn't just his words, it's the pattern. A relentless stream of media appearances, Netflix docuseries, Spotify podcasts, and public speeches have all featured sharp attacks on the royal family. Even Queen Camilla and the late Queen Elizabeth II weren't spared. With each new revelation, the trust between Harry and the institution that raised him seems to erode further. Public opinion has swung dramatically. Polls reveal that over 60% of British citizens now support removing Harry's title. In Sussex, the very region he represents, locals are voicing their frustration, signing the petition in droves, and publicly stating that he no longer represents them. Even more staggering, members of the Labour Party, typically more forgiving of royal controversies, have joined the chorus demanding accountability. Insiders claim Harry is seething with rage, especially after the airing of his BBC interview, just hours after losing his appeal for taxpayer-funded UK security. That interview, meant to elicit sympathy, backfired spectacularly. Instead of empathy, it ignited a firestorm of backlash. The timing, the tone, and the content all reinforced the image of a man disconnected from the institution and the country he once served. Many believe the monarchy has reached its breaking point. King Charles, while publicly silent, is said to be monitoring the petition closely. Though Charles has the power to revoke titles through letters patent, as Queen Elizabeth did with Prince Andrew, he appears to be allowing Parliament to take the lead, avoiding the appearance of personal vendetta. Royal insiders suggest that Charles wants this to be seen as a democratic decision, not a father's punishment. Prince William's position is even more telling. Reports suggest he hasn't raised a single objection to the petition and supports the initiative privately. For a man known for restraint and diplomacy, his silence is deafening. Palace insiders suggest that William views Harry's continued use of the Duke of Sussex title, especially in political and commercial contexts, as a direct threat to the monarchy's credibility. Sources say that William believes the monarchy is at a crossroads. Allowing Harry to continue profiting off his titles while attacking the institution from which they come sets a dangerous precedent. It undermines the integrity of every other working royal and weakens the public's trust in the crown. For William, this isn't personal, it's principle. Constitutional scholars like Professor Vernon Bogner have confirmed that Parliament has the authority to strip royal titles if it serves the national interest. Others are pushing for a modern update, the Dignity of the Crown Act, which would make it illegal to use British noble titles in foreign political arenas. Prince Harry, critics argue, would be the first to feel its effects. This proposal is gaining traction fast. Several MPs have already signaled their support, and public opinion is aligning. The act would serve as a legislative safeguard for future generations, ensuring that royal prestige cannot be turned into a commercial brand or used to advance political agendas abroad. The hypocrisy is striking. Despite claims of rejecting royals, life, Harry and Meghan continue to use their Sussex titles in nearly all public-facing ventures. Their Netflix deal, podcast appearances, and media branding lean heavily on royal associations. Even their children are referred to as prince and princess in promotional content, despite their alleged desire for privacy. Observers have dubbed this practice title trafficking, using inherited prestige for personal gain while violating the responsibilities tied to those titles. In the eyes of many, Harry is no longer a symbol of duty and tradition, but a cautionary tale of royal privilege turned commercial circus. The very identity he claims to resent is the one he's using to stay relevant. Critics point to the Archetypes podcast and the Netflix series as evidence. Despite branding themselves as independent, every major platform and production still markets them as the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Their children, too, are strategically introduced to the public. Rare glimpses released at times that coincide with major projects, publications, or public relations events. It's not just a coincidence, it's a calculated strategy. If the petition succeeds, Harry will lose not only his Duke of Sussex title, but the last thread of institutional legitimacy he clings to. He would no longer be introduced at global events with royal prestige, but simply as Mr. Harry Windsor. And in Hollywood, where perception is currency, the loss of his title could collapse the couple's entire brand. Without the shine of royalty, their public personas would be fundamentally altered. They would be forced to reinvent themselves, not as royals, but as celebrities. And in the cutthroat world of entertainment, that transition is anything but guaranteed. Without their titles, Meghan and Harry risk becoming yesterday's news. The palace's silence is strategic. By allowing Parliament to lead the charge, the monarchy distances itself from accusations of familial revenge. As royal biographer Robert Dow Lacey noted, this isn't a father punishing a son, it's an institution protecting its future. The crown is letting the will of the people and the mechanisms of government do the work. The outcome remains uncertain, but the writing is on the wall. Parliament is acting, the public is furious, and the crown is retreating. Prince Harry may soon face the ultimate royal reckoning, not by exile, but by erasure. If this petition succeeds, his transformation from prince to private citizen will be complete. A man who once walked behind Diana's coffin, cheered by millions, may now walk alone. His title stripped, his legacy forever changed. Because in the end, this isn't just about a name, it's about loyalty, it's about truth, and it's about consequence. And for Prince Harry, the bill is finally coming due. If you've made it this far, you know this story is far from over. The monarchy is shifting, Parliament is moving, and public sentiment is roaring louder than ever. So what happens next? Will Harry be stripped of the title that built his brand, or will the crown back down? Subscribe for the latest updates on this unfolding royal reckoning. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Should Harry keep his title, or has the time come to close the royal chapter for good?